Welcome to the College Football Bros. I'm Michael Newman.
I'm Ryan Newman.
And I'm Trey Newman.
All right, we have finally made it to the national championship. In this video, of course, we're going to preview Ohio State against Alabama being played in Miami on January 11th. At least as of recording, that's the scheduled date. There was some drama with potential COVID issues at Ohio State, but athletic director has since come out saying they're on track to play on Monday as planned. So we'll assume that that's the case. Let's get started with some made up prop bets that we have. Trey, what's yours?
Yeah, I'll lead us off. Over under 32 pass attempts for Mac Jones.
All right, I'm going to go over here. He averaged just under 32 pass attempts throughout the regular season. But a lot of those games were blowouts, games where he either sat at the end or they had big leads and didn't need to throw it a lot. So this game, I'm expecting it to be much closer, much more competitive. And Ohio State's potential weakness is their secondary. So I think Saban might be trying to take advantage of that.
And Ohio State's strength maybe on their D is the run game, stopping the run. So I think maybe in order to be more successful, I think Bama will pass. Yeah, but I agree with you. I just think that since I see this game, since they're going up essentially against such a high-powered offense in Ohio State, they're not just going to be able to sit on it like they did in a lot of games. So yeah, I'm going to take the over here. And I think it'll be maybe a few more than that, maybe like 35-ish or something like that. It'll be close.
All righty. My prop bet here, over under 30 yards rushing for Justin Fields.
I'm going to take the over here. I know obviously the main concern here for me is just his health, how those ribs are doing. If he's 100%, then I really would feel confident taking the over.
He's 100%. I would have said it higher.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, yeah, because he's averaging about 45 yards per game on the ground this year. And he had about that against Clemson as well.
And it mostly came in that first half.
It's true. It's true. It did. But in a game like this, it's all for all the marbles. And it's an added dimension that I think in order to keep up with the, arguably the best offense we've seen in a long time, Bama's, they need every advantage. They're going to need his legs to pick up a few first downs for sure, just to give that added threat in order to keep up. So I'm thinking his ribs will heal up. He's got about 9 days or so to get it right. So he's a young dude. He'll get healthy and he'll tough it up, man. He's a tough kid. He showed that last game. He was a tough as nails. So I think he'll just do whatever the team needs him to do. So if they're trailing, I expect him to fight for those first down yards if he needs them.
Yeah, and I mean, you could tell running him was a big part of the game plan against Clemson. Of course, like you mentioned, he had to kind of slow that down when he was
didn't need it apparently.
I think if you asked a lot of people this question, they would say under because of the injury, and I don't blame them. But in order to win, like you said, Ryan, he has to at least be a threat to win. To run. I'm going over. I think he'll run more, maybe only at select times or maybe scramble. He can always slide. Maybe they'll roll him out and he can run along the sideline and go out of bounds. So I'm going to say he'll go over as well.
All right. So we got two overs. Both overs.
Set it too low.
Okay. Well, maybe I can end the streak here. Maybe we can get somebody to go under. All right. My prop bet is over or under 1.5 touchdowns for Alabama players not named Mac Jones, Najee Harris, or DeVonta Smith.
Well, I'm going under. About 70% of the touchdowns they've had this year have come from these guys. The thing that could hurt me here, though, is if they have a defensive score, then I'm in trouble because I'm assuming there won't be one, and now I just have to worry about guys like backup running back Brian Robinson. He has 6 touchdowns on the year. 5 of them, though, were kind of in blowout games, so I think Najee might keep him in this game. Mechie's a threat, but he hasn't had one in the last 4 games. Billingsley's kind of caught a few recently. Caught one against Notre Dame, but he isn't always a threat to score, so that's why I got to go under.
All right, I'll take the other side. I'm going to go over.
All right.
So I did the same math you did, Trey. Maybe when you include those defensive touchdowns too, 35% of Bama's touchdowns come from players other than those Ryan listed. And There's around 6 touchdowns expected to be scored by Alabama when you look at the over-under. So 35% of 6 is roughly 2. So that's why I'm taking the over. But like you said, Trey, I think Ryan said the perfect line, because a lot of those touchdowns from the other players came in garbage time or came in games where, like, Brian Robinson, sure, he might get a few carries this game, but he's not going to get 10 plus carries, because you assume it's going to
bust one when he's in there. You just never
could.
know.
He could bust, but that's why I'm going over, because he could bust one. Mechie, Forrestall, maybe Jalen Waddle plays. We haven't brought that up. He's apparently back to practice, or at least he's been cleared to practice. So there's a chance he could play. And then there's always, the chance of a defensive score. So I don't know where it's going to come, but I'll say over.
1.5 was kind of the easy line to set there, but
yeah, it was a good line.
The obvious stress. You're not gonna, if you set it at 1, it's like, okay, you're, gonna go over that. But yep. All right.
Well, before we get to some predictions here, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications. We've got videos every week. We're going to have them every week throughout the off season as well. We've been, committing a lot more to YouTube, trying to grow our channel here. So we'd really appreciate that. Click the thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Tell us what you think is going to happen in this national championship, your score predictions, and share it on your local team's message board, wherever. All that stuff helps. Okay, enough begging here. Let's get to our bold predictions here.
You didn't get down on your knees.
Awkward. Mike. What's that?
You didn't get down on your knees and just like
it's awkward to do that, but when I'm watching a video and they say it, I'm like, yeah, I'll help them out. I'll leave a little comment.
Yeah, it sounds normal, right? Yeah. When you do it, you're like, oh, I'm cringing as I'm saying this.
I know. Anyway, Ryan, give us a bold prediction.
Okay, my bold prediction is that I think we kind of mentioned a little bit. I think there's going to be a lot of passing in this game. So I'm going to say that there are at least 8 touchdown passes thrown in this game. Could be 4 and 4 for, Fields and Jones, which is my guess. Could be 5 and 3, but, it's going to be 8 or more.
All right. I am thinking along the same lines as you. We don't discuss these before the episodes. I'm going to say both teams combined for 800 yards passing in the game, just because I think if it's a competitive game, like I said earlier, I think Alabama's going to lean on Mac Jones in the passing game. We've seen Michael Penix put up 491 yards against this Ohio State defense. We've seen Trevor Lawrence, albeit a lot of it when they were down a bunch, but he put up 400 passing yards. So Mac Jones is definitely capable. And then on the other side, if Justin Fields is at his best, with Chris Olave, of course, is back. Garrett Wilson's another elite receiver. Ryan Day calling plays. That game plan against Clemson was unbelievable. If he can replicate that, then I think 800 is in play.
Yep,
that's fair. Mine, I can't decide which it will be, but Bama's going to run a fake punt or fake field goal, and it's not going to work. Saban, he's had trick plays in past title games. He ran a fake punt against Texas way back when. Had a fake field goal, I believe, against Clemson or Georgia. The titles kind of get all blended together. So he has a track record of doing it, but this is a big game. Might be close. It'll be interesting to see. I think he did the onside kick against Clemson a couple years ago, and it worked. But he's going to attempt one, and it's not going to work this game.
All right. I would be interested to see if someone pulls out a trick play. All right, let's get to our ultimate score predictions here. So I'll put them up on the screen for you. I am expecting somewhat of a shootout. So I've got Alabama winning 41-34. You can see, though, that means I'm taking Ohio State +8 to get the cover. So I think Ohio State's best chance on defense is to get pressure on Mac Jones, which basically no one's really done a great job of this year. But Ohio State's first in the nation in pressure rate, the amount of passing snaps that they get pressure on the quarterback. Their D-line has been playing better and better, it seems like, as the season has worn on. Haskell Garrett, Tommy Togiai on the inside are beasts. And of course, with Alabama down to a backup center, that could play a factor, get some pressure up the middle. So I think they've got a chance to rattle Jones. So that's maybe, I mean, I have them giving up 41 points still, but against Alabama, when they're going to go full throttle, that's not bad. Yeah. On the other side of the ball, Justin Fields, of course, needs another big night. Alabama does have a great secondary led by Patrick Surtain, probably the best group of corners in college football. But we've seen Ole Miss put up big numbers against them. We've seen Florida do that. So Ohio State is more than capable of doing the same. The running game's been on fire with Trey Sermon. So that's why I think they're going to hang in there and cover that spread. But ultimately, I think I just trust Bama more. They've been doing it every game all year. Whereas Ohio State, up until this last game, I wasn't sure what kind of performance we were going to get from them.
That's true. At the beginning of the year, I picked Ohio State to beat Alabama in the title. So I'm being a little stubborn here and taking the Buckeyes. I got it 38-34. It's just too hard for me to ignore the performance they had last week against Clemson. I mean, Clemson was easily everyone's second best team going into last week, and Ohio State just ran them out of the Superdome. Bama, of course, they're the deserved favorite. Their skill, especially on offense, is preposterous. But I don't see why this game couldn't be maybe similar to the SEC championship where it was a shootout with Florida. Florida had chances late in the game to at least tie or even win the game. I think Ohio State could be just as capable of doing something similar. You touched on, Michael, being able to generate pressure for Ohio State's D-line. That's going to be a major key. The other thing, one point I had was Ohio State was really able to shut down ETN. So a matchup I'm looking at is their linebacker Pete Warner against Najee Harris. Maybe not completely shutting down Harris. No one's really been able to do that, but at least stymieing him enough to solely have it be forced on Mac Jones' shoulders, although that's a good option as well. But I just think the way Fields and Olave are in sync, they played so well against a really good defense last week. Trey Sermon, you mentioned, running like a beast. I'm going to take a shot with the Buckeyes that I saw last week, so they cover and win the title.
Yeah, looking forward to this one for sure. I'm going with Trey though. I'm going to take the Buckeyes, and I'm going on the upset special here too. I'm going to have them beating Alabama 42-38. Obviously, I see a lot of points scored. That's an 80 total, so I see them going over the over-under line. But to me, there's two main kind of things I'm looking at here. One side of it is, can Ohio State make Bama at least somewhat one-dimensional? They obviously have an elite running game with Najee Harris and an elite passing game with Mac Jones and DeVonta Smith and company. But can they take one away? They've proven they're good against the run. To me, that's would make the most sense for them to just try to focus on, hey, let's at least try to stop their run game. Hopefully our secondary can at least, hold up a little bit. But if the secondary doesn't have to come up and run support, if this front seven can kind of withstand that ground game, I think then Ohio State really does have a shot to win this one. And then on the flip side, my second point is how is Justin Fields going to be running the ball? I mean, if he's able to be 100% effective on the ground, then you got a triple threat with him running, you got with Trey Sermon running, and then of course through the air, and that's a lot for somebody to handle. Where if you look to Alabama, okay, Mac Jones doesn't have that ground ability, so that could be maybe the advantage for the Ohio State. So, I think it's just going to come down to the end. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm going to take the Buckeyes here.
All right, got both of you guys taking the upset.
Bold.
We're swayed by that one game, baby.
I know.
We're suckers
on that one.
It was amazing.
Hey, I picked them against the spread and to win the title, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully we get a good game. Again, let us know in the what you think, your score predictions, and yeah, thanks for watching the College Football Bros. Be sure to subscribe. Like I said, in the off season, we're going to have episodes. We're going to touch on recruiting, spring practice, transfer news. We'll have trivia shows, just kind of random fun episodes that, off seasons where we really get creative. So we've had some people say they like our off season shows better. So we'll try to keep you entertained and enjoy the national championship.
You've been watching the College Football Bros. Be sure to subscribe here on YouTube and in your podcast app for college football content all year round. For bonus episodes and access to our Discord chat, join our Patreon at patreon.com/collegefootballbros. Thanks for watching.